Hey there, 276. Welcome to an introduction to C++ programming. I'm your instructor for the course, Eric Wolf. Really, just Eric is fine. I know I published the course yesterday, which means that some of you will have had at least some opportunity to get through and poke around a little bit, but I also know that that means that many of you have not. Here over summer, I tend to try not to publish things too early because otherwise, essentially what happens is many of you forget about them. So here on the first day of class, I wanted to inundate you with a little bit of information that should help you actually get through and successfully complete at least the first session here in the course. Number one, something to know, not just for this course, but very, very probably for all the courses you are going to take forever after, is that yes, you are going to need the text. There's a reason it is a required text, and that's because you will be required to use it. You can get the version of the textbook we are using either from the bookstore or I tend to keep things a little longer so that it helps drive the price down for you guys. You can find used copies of the text, but do that ASAP. There is work due a week from today. So if you do that BS you do where, hey, I waited until Thursday to order the book, I chose economy shipping because I didn't want to pay anything extra for it, and they strapped it to the back of a directionally challenged snail, and it'll get to me sometime in July. Well, guess what? You're going to be screwed. You need the book to be successful. That is where the material is coming from. So if you haven't already done so, probably your best bet is to go grab a copy from RVC at the bookstore. So that's the number one thing to know, is get the book. Quit it with the bullshit where you're like, well, some instructors don't let us use the book. Like, none of us fall for that. Stop it. So that is number one. Number two, you will find that there are on the homepage in Eagle a bunch of ways to contact me. All of those are good. You can reach out via email, you can reach out via messages, and you can reach out via text. If you are going to text me, please include who you are and what class you're from so that I know it is a legitimate text message as opposed to some lunatic who has secured my phone number on the internet, because that has happened. Also, the other thing to know about text messaging is, you can see it's this hand. We have a 5-year-old here. That furniture is way too small for me. And if you wake him up by sending me text messages at weird hours, I will inflict upon you swift and terrible justice. So keep it between the 8s. After 8 a.m., before 8 p.m., safety zone. Outside of that, danger zone, and probably not healthy for anybody. As far as the material goes, I have everything broken down into, or most sessions rather, broken down into two pieces. There's the material. That's the word I was looking for. The material. As it relates to the textbook, and then there are the challenge portions. The challenges essentially map to the testing for these chapters. Instead of having you answer, ABCD questions about, looping and other things that we're going to cover here in class, you actually put projects together. So there are always two sections up until the very last week of a module. So it'll say session 1, part 1, session 1, part 2. And what I mean for you to do is progress down through the material from the start all the way down. Now, I do have in every session, there are podcasts and there are videos that relate to the content, and there are also the PowerPoints that relate back to the content. Those are available for you there as well. I do mean for you to go through the video and podcast material, that is where I do all of the explaining. That is where you would get all of the application for how it is that we are going to use these. A textbook only goes so far in telling you what you need to know about how a material is useful. That's why in the world there are such a thing as teachers, because otherwise we would plop you down in front of a book and that would be all, and I would be working in IT someplace else. So the podcasts, the video walkthroughs where we actually have screencasts where we go through and actually create code and you can type along in a separate window, I really encourage you, because there's no other, I'm not like attaching quizzes or anything to it, which probably I should, but you're highly encouraged to go through all of those, because those are where you will find the answers to all of your questions about how C++ really works. And again, those go from top to bottom all the way down through the material. So that is what you'll need to know about this session. In the very top of session 1, part 1, there's a bunch of stuff that you'll need to get going. That's going to be true of all of our upper level language courses like C++ is you're going to need to do some setup in order to get going. So provide yourself enough time to do that. We'll run the course from Mondays through Monday, so that's how the content is going to progress, and that's how you should budget your time in order for that to progress. And here in the first week, because you're learning a language, you're seeing it for the first time, you're getting used to the syntax, I would budget a little extra time in order to get that done. And subsequent weeks will really, I promise, move faster, because by then you will have the very simple syntax down. You will have the keywords down. And that's just refining on what you already know. So don't sell your time short this week, because you are going to need it. If you have a question, reach out. I would rather help you through an issue when it's in its infancy than wait until you have gone, unfortunately, nuclear, wasting all of this time, because we can't get that back for you. If it's a simple question that we can give you a simple answer to that helps springboard you back into the content, I am happy to be able to do that. So reach out if you have any issues. Get started with the material. If you haven't already gotten the book, stop watching this now and go get it. You damn well knew you should have. And otherwise, here's to a great class, CIS 276. Now have at it.